I'm Race Vora with the California Poison Control System. I'm joined today with Dr. Cyrus Rangan, also with the California Poison Control System, and my co-host, and our featured expert, Dr. Justin Lewis, the Managing Director at the Sacramento Division of California Poison Control System. Welcome, Dr. Lewis and Dr. Rangan. Thanks for being on. Our topic today certainly is very interesting and rapidly developing. It's a hazard that we're getting more and more calls about on our poison control hotlines. And this is the water beads that are found in a lot of household toys and other objects. Justin, you've been actively researching this topic, so I'm really glad that you came on to tell us more about this hazard. Can you start us off and just describe what are water beads and where can they be found?
Great, thanks for having me. Yeah, water beads are really small, little tiny beads when they're not exposed to water. You can buy them online. They're really cheap. You can get like 25,000 beads for, less than $20. So they're very available. And the problem with these beads is we've been getting many calls about small children eating them, and then they mix with the water in your stomach and they swell up. And so that could cause, if enough are ingested, that could cause a blockage in the intestines.
Can you describe some of the calls that our poison control centers are hearing about? Like what happens whenever a child accidentally swallows these objects, which, by the way, look very attractive. They've got different colors, different sizes. I can certainly see why a small child would want to at least taste or try these.
Sure. So parents will call if they're just not sure if their child has ingested these, or maybe they've watched them ingest some. And just really depending on the history and how many might have been ingested, and also whether the child's doing okay or having any symptoms at all. Sometimes we can just watch them at home. Sometimes they have to go to the emergency room.
Thank you. Cyrus, you're a pediatrician and a toxicologist. You've certainly helped manage cases like this. Can you walk us through, some of the complications that could happen with an object like this whenever a child or even a pet, for example, has accidentally swallowed them?
Sure. As you can imagine, because these beads they have wonderful, vibrant colors and they're very smooth, they can be very, very inviting for a young child to hold in their hands and then put in their mouth. And as Justin mentioned, if you ingest maybe one of these, it's unlikely to cause severe symptoms. But if you ingest enough of them, then you can get a full-on gastrointestinal obstruction. So while the beads themselves aren't poisonous, they cause a physical obstruction in the gastrointestinal tract that may result in nausea, vomiting, intense stomach discomfort, and pain. And those may require a visit to the emergency department.
Great, thank you. Yeah, it sounds like they literally take up so much space within the walls of the intestine that can be very uncomfortable and sometimes even require surgery. Is that correct?
That's very true. So you may need to have surgical intervention in order to get these beads out. It all depends on where the obstruction is and how severe it is, and that'll be up to medical staff to decide that. But there are cases that have required surgery, and these can certainly be deadly if they go untreated.
Thank you. And then just to take a step back, what are some good safety tips that we should share with our viewers? How can we prevent a child from accidentally eating these objects?
Ideally, you'd like to keep small children just away from these products completely, just so that don't even have to worry about the risk. And if they are in contact with them, just making sure the parents are paying close attention that none get ingested.
Great. Some safety tips here that we can review. Cyrus, we're always talking about childproofing the home. Can you describe exactly what that might mean for a parent of a young child?
Sure. I think always first thinking about the perspective and of the child in terms of where they are, what their height level is, and what their line of sight is, and keeping in mind that whatever they see in their line of sight is something that they could potentially take into their hands and put into their mouths. So ensure that your child's line of sight is clear of these kinds of products, and of course other poisons as well, to try to make sure things are out of sight and then of course out of mind. Now, it's impossible to fully 100% childproof a home, but you do what you can to make sure that you are supervising your children, keeping these products out of reach and out of mind, and that will go a long way to preventing these exposures.
Great, and make sure they're not eating anything other than food, and hopefully nutritious food at that.
Right.
And the key takeaway from this conversation is that these water beads are indeed hazardous for small children and even pets. So if you have furry friends around the home, some of the same strategies apply. As always, we are happy to help whenever people call our poison control hotline. So we encourage all of our viewers to just program this 1-800 toll-free confidential number right in your phone, just in case you need us. We're always happy to answer questions about water beads, other foreign objects or toys that a child might have swallowed, and many other poisonings and overdose hazards all day long at our different divisions of the California Poison Control System. It's been a great pleasure to talk to my two colleagues, Dr. Lewis and Dr. Rangan, with the California Poison Control System. And we'll see you next time on Close Calls with CPCS. Thank you both, gentlemen.